Dear colleagues, in this elderly patient we can see that the pupil has not dilated very well. The pupil size may be about 5 mm or so. The cataract has medium density, nuclear sclerosis may be in grade 3. I have taken up this case for surgery. Let us see how the surgery was done. By this time all the incisions have been made. Now I am going to inject air bubble and stain the anterior capsule. Why? Because in such cases during surgery, during phacoemulsification, the size of the pupil may be so small that for nucleus management we may have to apply iris hooks. At that time, if the anterior capsule is stained, we can easily identify the anterior capsular rim and place the hooks properly. That's why, though the cataract is not mature, though the cataract is not white in cases where pupil has not dilated well, and there may be situations during surgery where you have to use pupil dilating devices. You can stain the anterior capsule to easily identify the anterior capsular rim. So the capsule has been stained, viscoelastic substance has been injected into the anterior chamber, and now we are going to do capsulorhexis. And in this case, I'm going to do a rhexis which is larger than the size of the pupil. See how. Anterior capsule is incised. Now I take utreta forceps. It can be done with needle also, and go beyond the margin of the pupil. Go little beyond the margin of the pupil. The control of your hand should be such that it will remain at one curvilinear line all along. Thus, you can get a rhexis which is larger than the size of the pupil. You can see in this case we cannot see the margin of the pupil, but we are sure that it is a CCC. Now hydrodissection is done and nucleus is rotated, and now is the time to enter into the eye. Now is the time to introduce the phaco handpiece into the anterior chamber and start phacoemulsification. I go bevel down, then turn the handpiece and make the bevel up, and now the pupil has become little smaller. It has become even less than 5 mm, say about 4.5 mm. But since the cataract is not hard, we can easily do vertical chop like this. We can chop it into several fragments, and then we can easily emulsify this without using any pupil dilating device. If the pupil becomes even 3.5 mm, we can easily manage without using any pupil dilating device. But I am not opposed to use of pupil dilating devices. I frequently use it when it is necessary, but all pupil dilating devices will cause some stress of the sphincter pupillae, and pupil may be little distorted. There may be some sphincter tear. So if we can manage it without using any pupil expansion devices, it is always the best. This is the last fragment, and it is being easily emulsified and taken out. Phaco power that has been used in this case is not much. Phaco power was 50%, flow rate was 40 ml per minute, and vacuum was 390 mm of mercury. And now I'm going to use bimanual irrigation aspiration for removal of this cortical lens matter. You can see that there is a lot of cortex remaining, and at this time inject a little bit of viscoelastic substance. Don't inject much. just to keep the antechamber formed a little bit. Don't overfill the anterior chamber. And now I'm using the irrigating probe through the right side port and aspiration through the left, and see how easily the cortical matter is removed. Now I am polishing the right half of the posterior capsule, and this also loosens the cortex of the other side. Now I am aspirating through the right side port, irrigation through the left, and the cortical matter is removed. And now I use only the irrigation no, not irrigation. In this case, I am using viscoelastic substance for implantation of intraocular lens. And here goes the intraocular lens. This is a hydrophilic acrylic intraocular lens. I make sure that the direction of the leading haptic is such that it goes into the bag, and the trailing haptic is pushed into the capsular bag. And now, in all cases, including this case, the viscoelastic substance must be thoroughly removed. First, I depressed the posterior lip and removed some viscoelastic substance. Now I am using Simcoe cannula, and then I'll use the irrigation aspiration probes. I got this idea from Amritsar. I saw that the utensils are washed in different chambers. First it is put in a chamber just in water, then in light soap water, then in clean water, like this. So I thought if we clean the viscoelastic substance out in different stages, cleaning will be good. So first is I have talked about the cleaning of utensils at Golden Temple, Amritsar, at the Langarkhana. Now this is use of bimanual IA. I am going behind the IOL, irrigating and cleaning the viscoelastic substance. And now I'm using both irrigation and aspiration together. So in this way I spend a lot of time, and all the places are irrigated and aspirated. This viscoelastic substance is thoroughly removed. Now this is moxifloxacin, and now the side ports are hydrated to make the side ports waterproof. You can see that the pupil is round and there is no sphincter tear. This is because we have not used any iris hooks, we have not used any pupil expansion device. There has been no pigment dispersion. So if we can manage these cases without using any pupil expansion device, that is good. Now the antechamber is formed and the case is concluded. Hope this video will help you in your practice.